Hi, this is Jeff Snook, and you are at Snook's Dream Cars, and today we're showing off our 1946 Plymouth Woodie Wagon. It is a P15 Special Deluxe model, which is what all the Woodies were from Plymouth in 1946. This car was produced right after the war. They were developed to be a unique kind of transport, the original station wagon. The term station wagon came about when folks would take a train to a vacation spot or to their cottage or to visit somebody, and they had to be picked up at the station in a vehicle. And they needed a lot of space to carry everyone's luggage. So they became known as station wagons. It is unique in that it's basically all wood. The body is all wood. And you notice some signage on the door, says a stone's throw. My wife and I had a beach cottage on Cape Cod, and typically of that era, people would put the name of their cottage on their car. So that's why it's called a stone's throw. We no longer have the cottage, but we got the car. If we open up the hood, this car has a inline 6-cylinder engine, 218 cubic inches, which was the Chrysler, Mopar, Plymouth, Dodge engine of the period. Develops all of 95 horsepower. However, it's good for cruising at 55 to 60 mile an hour if you have to. Not so good for highway traveling today, though. And if you look closely, you can see the hood ornament. This is a Plymouth tied into the Mayflower, and the hood ornament is a embossed piece of plexiglass with a light inside of it at night that lights up. Just another cool feature of cars of this era. You'll also notice the spotlight. It was remote control from the inside, and it can turn around and it can pivot one direction or another, go up and down like that. That's an accessory that kind of carried on into the late 40s, 50s, and sometimes people would just even put them on as fake ones. They didn't really work. There are roll-up windows for the front doors. The rear windows are sliders, which gave you a little bit of ventilation. The interior of the car is all wood. The doors are wood. The roof of the car is wood, just like a boat. So it's a really interesting and pretty feature to look up inside of a Woodie to see the wooden slats like a boat would have. To get into the back, open up the top window, undo the two latches on the tailgate. If you were traveling and had a load, then the taillight would hang down. At night, with the rear tailgate open, you'd still have your brake lights and driving lights to be able to be seen. We can notice the holes in the back of the storage area here where the back seat would have latched down there. So this is really the third seat because it's the full width, and this middle seat would have been narrower. You could carry a lot of things in here. And then you'd see them with luggage racks on top, because if you got a lot of people inside, you still don't have room for your luggage, so they put luggage racks on top. The spare tire in a station wagon of this era was put many places, sometimes in the back trunk area. Plymouth was unique. They bolted the spare tire on the back of the front seat, and it's covered up with a vinyl snap-on cover so you don't see the spare tire itself. This Woodie is original, and it does have a patina to it, so it hasn't been redone. It has been stained and revarnished, but it's the original wood, and you can see all wooden doors. They get warped a little bit over the years. 1946, so this is 70 years old, so it's allowed to have a little warpage on it after 70 years. The Plymouth theme is carried out on the hubcaps. There again, the word Plymouth and the Mayflower. It's a stylized Mayflower, but it was part of the Plymouth lore that they used that Mayflower logo on their things, including the grill up here, the ornament in this area with the Plymouth, and this looks more like a real Mayflower ship rather than the stylized one in the hood ornament. The top is a vinyl. And this particular car, you could have had a cream color top or a black top. Woodies stopped production as people found out that when you own a Woodie Wagon, it's wood, and if you drive it every day in the winter, it needs revarnished. And that wasn't something people were used to doing. They were used to washing and maybe waxing their car, but a Woodie Wagon, you needed to revarnish the wood once, maybe twice a year. So that was a disadvantage. Cars in this era, in the 40s, did not have power steering. And they were pretty heavy cars, so I chose to add a period accessory, which is sometimes called a necker knob, sometimes called just a steering knob, sometimes called a crash knob. When you get in and you want to steer, this device gives you more leverage to turn the steering wheel. And it's really good if you have to parallel park, otherwise you're turning really hard. The dash is particularly nice, Art Deco style with the chrome and the speaker underneath here and up there. These are the wipers. They are vacuum operated. Sometimes it's difficult in traveling with vacuum wipers, but just idling around, driving normally, they work just fine. This is the heating system. There are hoses running from the cooling system, would be full of hot water, and there's just different controls. If you want the air deflected into the defrosting vents, you'd turn the knob. Temperature control, you'd pull that out to control the amount of heat, which is really controlling the amount of hot water that's going through the interior. And then there's a heater fan with various positions, whether you want a slow fan or a fast fan. All the knobs are cool with the labels on them, tell you what they are. There's a choke, the headlights, and the throttle. Also interesting, this has a additional air ventilation called a Cowl vent. Turn the key on to charge the ignition system, but then there's a starter button to start the car.